The morning sky above Sydney turned from blue to black as the massive ship entered Earth's atmosphere. People stopped in their tracks, looking up with a mix of wonder and fear. Some took pictures with their phones, others ran for cover, but most just stared, not knowing what to make of the giant metal object that now blocked the sun. In his office at the Galactic Relations Bureau, Tom Reed watched the screens showing the alien ship. He sighed and rubbed his tired eyes. This was the third such arrival this month, and it wouldn't be the last. "Another one?" asked Mark, his assistant, placing a cup of coffee on Tom's desk. "Yes, the racks. Right on schedule." Tom picked up the coffee and took a sip. "Have the Voros made contact yet?" Mark shook his head. "Not yet, but their ship was spotted near Mars. They should be here within the hour." Tom nodded and stood up. He straightened his blue uniform jacket and checked his appearance in the small mirror on the wall. Looking professional was important when meeting aliens who already thought humans were primitive. "Is the zone ready?" Tom asked. "Yes, sir. The Australian outback has been fully evacuated for 100 miles in all directions. All monitoring systems are in place." "Good. Let's hope they follow the rules this time." It had been 15 years since Earth joined the Galactic Council. Humans had been shocked to learn they were far from alone in the universe. Even more shocking was learning that Earth was considered one of the most stable and peaceful planets in the known galaxy. Most advanced species had evolved on harsh, dangerous worlds. The racks came from a planet with toxic air and constant storms. The Voros evolved underwater on a world covered in ice. These harsh conditions had made them tough, but it also meant their home planets couldn't survive the weapons they had created. So the Galactic Council had made a rule. Species with conflicts must fight on stable, resilient planets. Earth, with its moderate climate and strong but not extreme conditions, was perfect. The Council had approached human leaders with an offer: allow controlled conflicts on Earth in exchange for advanced technology and protection. The deal had been made, and now Earth served as a battlefield for alien disputes. The rack ship landed exactly where it was supposed to, in the red desert of the Australian outback. A cloud of dust rose around it as its massive weight settled on the ground. The ship was shaped like a crescent moon, its black metal surface reflecting no light. Tom arrived by helicopter, along with Commander Lena Stone, Earth's military liaison. Their small aircraft looked like a toy next to the alien ship. "Remember," said Lena as they walked toward the ship, "show no fear. They respect strength." Tom nodded. He had met racks before. They were tall, reptile-like creatures with rough, dark skin and 4 arms. They valued order and strength above all else. A door opened in the side of the ship and 3 racks emerged. The one in front, clearly the leader, wore metal armor decorated with symbols of rank. "I am Admiral Drav of the Rack Dominion," the alien said, its voice deep and rumbling. "We come to settle our dispute with the Voros as permitted by Treaty 459 of the Galactic Council." Tom stepped forward. "Welcome, Admiral Drav. I am Tom Reed, Earth's diplomatic representative. This is Commander Lena Stone, our military liaison. We have prepared the zone according to the treaty specifications." Drav looked down at Tom, its yellow eyes narrowing. "Your species continues to surprise me, human. Most would tremble at hosting a battle between advanced civilizations." "We honor our agreements," Tom replied simply. Drav made a sound that might have been a laugh. "So you say. The Voros arrive soon?" "Within the hour. We'll escort you to the command center where you can prepare." The Voros ship arrived as predicted. Unlike the dark, crescent-shaped rock vessel, the Voros ship was sleek and silver, with blue lights pulsing along its hull. It hovered above the ground rather than landing, a display of their advanced gravity technology. The Voros themselves were much different from the racks. They were shorter than humans, with pale blue skin and large dark eyes. They moved with a fluid grace that made them appear to be gliding rather than walking. Their leader introduced himself as Morrow, chief strategist of the Voro Collective. His voice was soft, but carried an undercurrent of danger. "Earth continues to provide excellent service to the galaxy," Morrow said, smiling at Tom. "Such a peaceful world. It must be Boring for your kind. Tom kept his face neutral. We find plenty to keep us occupied. Morrow's smile widened. I'm sure you do. Now, shall we discuss the terms of engagement? I assume the local population has been moved to safety? The zone is clear for 100 miles, Lena said firmly. All monitoring systems are active. Any violation of the boundary will result in immediate reporting to the Galactic Council. Of course, Morrow said, waving a four-fingered hand. We would never endanger innocent lives. This is between us and the Racks. Tom didn't believe him for a second. In the command center, a reinforced bunker at the edge of the battle zone, Tom watched as both alien forces prepared for combat. On the screens he could see massive war machines being unloaded from both ships. The Rack weapons were bulky and powerful, while the Voro technology was sleek and precise. Those cannons could level a city, Lena said, pointing to a particularly large Rack weapon, and those Voro drones could wipe out all life in a 10-mile radius with their chemical weapons. Tom added, this is why they can't fight on their homeworlds. The damage would be too great. An aide rushed into the room. Sir, we're picking up unusual readings from both camps. They seem to be scanning beyond the battle zone. Tom and Lena exchanged worried glances. Keep monitoring, Tom ordered, and alert all human forces to stand by. I don't trust either of them to stick to the agreement. As night fell over the Australian desert, lights from the alien camps illuminated the darkness. Tomorrow, the battle would begin. But Tom couldn't shake the feeling that both sides had more planned than a simple skirmish. He looked at a map of Earth on the wall, the battle zone marked in red. So many alien conflicts had been fought here now, and Earth had always recovered. The aliens thought Earth was simple and resilient but unimportant. They were wrong about that last part, and if they broke the rules of engagement, they would learn just how wrong they were. Tom picked up a secure phone and dialed a number few people knew existed. This is Reed, he said when someone answered. Activate Protocol Sentinel. I think our guests might be planning to overstay their welcome. On the screens behind him, the alien war machines continued to deploy, unaware that Earth had surprises of its own. The first rays of sunlight spread across the red desert as Tom walked between the two alien camps. The morning air was cool, but Tom knew it wouldn't last. By noon, the temperature would rise to over 100 degrees. The aliens didn't mind. Their homeworlds were far more extreme. Tom reached the Rack command post, a large dome-shaped structure that had been assembled overnight. Guards with forearms, each holding a different weapon, stood at the entrance. They recognized Tom and let him pass without a word. Inside, Admiral Drav was studying a holographic map of the battle zone. The alien commander stood nearly 8 feet tall, his rough skin looking like cracked earth. He didn't look up when Tom entered. Your species sleeps too much, Drav said finally. We have been preparing for hours while your kind rested. Different, biology, Tom replied with a shrug. I'm here to confirm your battle plans follow the agreed boundaries. Drav made a rumbling sound in his chest that Tom had learned was their version of a laugh. We will destroy the Voros within your rules. Human, our dispute goes back centuries, but we respect neutral ground. Tom nodded, studying the battle formations on the map. The Rack forces were arranged in tight groups, their heavy weapons positioned behind lines of armored vehicles. May I ask what started this conflict? Tom asked, genuinely curious. Drav turned his yellow eyes to Tom. The Voros stole technology from our ancestors, technology they were not ready to understand. They used it to expand their territory and threaten our worlds. And they say you attacked their colony ships without warning, Tom countered. History is written by those who survive, Drav said simply. Today, we will make sure our version is the one remembered. The Voro command center couldn't have been more different from the Racks. It was a floating platform that hovered 20 feet above the ground, surrounded by a shimmering energy field. Tom was lifted up to it by a gravity beam that made his skin tingle. Chief Strategist Morrow greeted him with a smile that didn't reach his large black eyes. The Voro leader wore a form-fitting suit that seemed to shift colors as he moved. Tom Reed, Morrow said, his voice musical. Come to check on us? How thoughtful of your primitive species to care about our comfort. Tom had learned to ignore the Voros casual insults. I'm here to verify your battle plans stay within the designated zone. Of course, Moro said, waving him toward a liquid-like screen that showed their battle formations. Unlike the Rax's tight groups, the Voro forces were spread out, with small, fast units positioned to strike from multiple directions. Your world is quite pleasant, Moro said as Tom studied the plans. Mild temperatures, breathable air, stable, ground. No wonder your kind evolved to be so unchallenged. We have our own challenges, Tom replied. Do you? Moro moved closer. Your species hasn't faced the constant struggle for survival that shapes true warriors. That's why you're perfect hosts, but would make terrible fighters. Tom said nothing, but his jaw tightened. The Voros, like many alien species, believed that only those from harsh worlds could develop real strength. It was a common view in the galaxy, and one that had kept humanity safe so far. As long as aliens thought humans were weak but useful, Earth remained protected. We'll begin our assault at midday, Moro continued. The Rax will be defeated before your sun sets. Then perhaps we can discuss expanding our relationship with Earth. The way he said it made Tom uneasy. The treaty is clear about the terms of your visit. Treaties change, Moro said with another empty smile. The future is always in motion. Back at the command center, Tom found Lena studying satellite images of both alien camps. She looked up when he entered, her face serious. Something's wrong, she said without preamble. Both sides have deployed more forces than they declared, and they're positioning units at the edges of the zone, not just facing each other. Tom looked at the images. She was right. Both the Rax and Voros had units that seemed ready to move outward, not just against each other. They're planning to expand the battle zone, Tom said. Or worse. That's not all. Lena pointed to another screen showing energy readings. They're both scanning our defense systems, not just in the battle zone but across the continent. They're mapping our capabilities. Tom felt a chill despite the room's warmth. They're gathering intelligence on us. Why? Lena asked. They know we're not a threat to them. Maybe that's what they're confirming, Tom said slowly. Or maybe they're planning something after their battle. A technician called out from across the room. Sir, we're detecting communication between the Rack and Voro command ships. Tom and Lena exchanged shocked looks. The two alien forces were supposed to be bitter enemies. Why would they be talking before the battle? Can we intercept it? Tom asked. No, sir. It's heavily encrypted, but the fact they're communicating at all is very bad, Lena finished. Tom walked to the window and looked out at the desert. In the distance, he could see the alien ships rising above the flat landscape, like mountains that had appeared overnight. For years, Earth had served as the galaxy's neutral battlefield, a safe place for dangerous species to settle their disputes without destroying more volatile worlds. But what if that wasn't the real reason they came to Earth? Activate all hidden monitoring systems, Tom ordered, and send a coded message to all Earth defense outposts, code yellow. You think they're working together? Lena asked quietly. I think we need to be ready if they are, Tom replied. He picked up a secure phone. I'm going to contact the Galactic Council representative. We need witnesses if they violate the treaty. As Tom dialed, the first explosions rumbled across the desert. The battle had begun early. On the monitors, massive energy weapons fired between the two forces, lighting up the morning sky. The ground shook with each impact, but Tom couldn't shake the feeling that the real target wasn't either alien force, it was Earth itself. The desert shook as if caught in an earthquake. Massive Rack war machines stomped across the sand, each step sending vibrations through the ground for miles. Their main cannons fired blasts of energy that turned sand to glass on impact. The air filled with the smell of ozone and burnt earth. From the observation bunker 5 miles away, Tom and Lena watched the battle unfold on screens and through reinforced windows. The Voro forces moved like quicksilver across the battlefield, their smaller vehicles darting between attacks with impossible speed. Their technology is beyond anything they've shown in previous conflicts, Lena said, her eyes fixed on a Voro weapon that seemed to bend light around it. "They've been holding back until now." "Both sides have," Tom agreed, pointing to a rack destroyer that was unfolding into a form twice its original size. "This isn't just about settling their dispute. They're showing off." "But for who?" Lena asked. "For us?" Before Tom could answer, an alarm sounded. A technician called out from a monitoring station. "Sir, we've got movement outside the designated zone. Voro scout units are moving west toward Alice Springs." "Get me visual," Tom ordered, moving to the main screen. The image showed sleek Voro vehicles breaking away from the main battle, racing across the sand toward the boundary of the zone. "Contact the Voro command immediately," Tom said. "Remind them of the boundary restrictions." A communications officer tried, then shook her head. "They're not responding, sir." "What about the racks?" Lena asked, looking at another screen. They're just continuing the battle as if nothing's happening." "Because they're in on it," Tom said grimly. "This was the plan all along." He hit a button on the command console. "All stations, this is Reed. We have a code yellow situation. Activate defensive measures at the boundary. Non-lethal warnings only at this stage." On the screens, they watched as hidden defense turrets rose from the sand at the edge of the battle zone. The weapons had been disguised as rocks and scrub, part of Earth's secret defensive network. They fired warning shots in front of the advancing Voro vehicles. The Voro scouts stopped, then changed direction, moving north instead. "They're testing our boundaries," Lena said. "Probing for weak spots." Another alarm sounded. "Sir, we've got rack forces moving south now," called out another technician. Tom's face hardened. "They're coordinating. I want all boundary defenses activated now. And get me a secure line to Global Command. We need to prepare for a full breach." In a hidden facility beneath the Australian outback, 300 miles from the battle zone, General Jack Wilson watched the same feeds with growing concern. Behind him, a room full of military personnel monitored systems that few humans knew existed. "They're working together," his aide said, stating what was now obvious. "Yes." Wilson's voice was calm, despite the situation. "And now we know why they chose Earth for their so-called battles all these years." "Intelligence gathering," the aide said. Wilson nodded. "They've been mapping our defenses, testing our responses. Today they're making their move." He turned to a communications officer. "Status of our orbital platforms?" "All satellites in position, sir. Defense grid at full capacity." "And the special projects?" "Project Mirage is ready. Project Thunderbird is on standby." Wilson nodded. "Inform all allied nations. It's time to reveal what Earth can really do." Back at the observation bunker, Tom received the call he'd been dreading. "Reed," he answered, his voice tense. "This is Global Command," came the response. "Your assessment was correct. Both alien forces are now in direct violation of the treaty. The Galactic Council has been notified, but their nearest representatives are hours away." "We can't wait hours," Tom said, watching as more alien units broke away from the main battle. "They're spreading out in all directions now." "Understood. You are authorized to activate Protocol Hammer, all necessary measures to contain the threat." Tom took a deep breath. "Acknowledged. Read out." He turned to Lena, who was already watching, him with understanding in her eyes. "It's time to show them what Earth can really do," she said. Tom nodded. "Activate Protocol Hammer, all defensive systems to full capacity." Around the observation bunker, the ground began to shift. What had appeared to be natural formations, hills, rock outcroppings, even small mesas, started to change. Metal surfaces emerged from beneath sand and stone as Earth's hidden defenses revealed themselves. In the sky above, clouds parted as camouflaged platforms descended. They had been there all along, invisible to alien sensors thanks to technology humans had developed in secret. On the battlefield, both Rock and Voro forces paused as they detected the sudden appearance of hundreds of weapons systems surrounding the battle zone. "Open a channel to both command ships," Tom ordered. "Let's see if they want to talk now." Admiral Drav's face appeared on the main screen, his yellow eyes narrowed in surprise. Beside him, a separate window showed Chief Strategist Morrow, for once without his smug smile. "This is Tom Reed of Earth Defense," Tom said, his voice firm. "Your forces have violated the terms of the treaty. You have exactly 1 minute to recall all units to the designated zone, or we will take action." "What is this?" Drav demanded. "Your world is unsuited for defense. Your species evolved on a gentle planet." "That's what we wanted you to believe," Tom replied. "Earth isn't a death world like your home planets, it's true. But that doesn't mean we can't defend it. Your weapons cannot match ours," Morrow said, though his confidence seemed shaken. "We have technology beyond your understanding." "Do you?" Lena stepped forward. "Or do you have exactly the technology we've allowed you to see during your visits?" On the battlefield, both alien forces had stopped advancing. Their commanders were clearly reassessing the situation as more and more Earth defenses revealed themselves. "One last chance," Tom said. "Return to the designated zone or face the consequences." Neither alien commander responded immediately. They were calculating, weighing their options. Tom nodded to Lena. "Show them what just one of our systems can do." Lena pressed a command into her console. One of the newly revealed defense platforms targeted an empty area of desert between the alien forces. A beam of concentrated energy shot down, striking the sand. The impact created a perfect circle of glass 100 meters wide. The sand instantly melted by heat beyond what either alien force had demonstrated. In the silence that followed, Tom leaned forward. "That was just a demonstration. Now what's it going to be? Peace? Or do we show you what humans from a gentle planet can really do when threatened?" The alien commanders looked at each other, through their separate screens, their alliance of convenience suddenly in question as they faced an enemy neither had truly understood, until now. For 10 long seconds, no one moved. The holographic faces of Admiral Drav and Chief Strategist Morrow stared at Tom, their expressions unreadable to human eyes. On the battlefield, both Rak and Voro forces had stopped their advance, weapons still, powered but no longer firing. Then Admiral Drav spoke, his deep voice rumbling through the speakers. "Very clever, humans. You have hidden much from the galaxy. As you have hidden your true intentions from us," Tom countered. "Why the deception? Why pretend to fight each other while planning to attack Earth?" Morrow's thin lips curved into a smile. "Attack? No. Think of it more as claiming what we need." "And what would that be?" Lena asked. "A perfect training ground," Drav said simply. "Do you know how rare planets like yours are in the galaxy? Stable, temperate, with varied environments but no truly deadly areas. The perfect place to train soldiers and test weapons," Morrow added. "Without the risks of our home worlds or the expense of creating artificial environments." Tom's eyes narrowed. "So all these years, these battles were just a way to scout Earth for a full invasion?" "Invasion is such an ugly word," Morrow said, waving a 4-fingered hand. "We would have allowed your species to remain. Under supervision, of course." "Your hidden defenses are impressive," Drav admitted. "But they cannot stand against the combined might of our forces. You have shown your hand too early, human." On another screen, Tom could see both alien forces beginning to regroup. They were forming a unified front now, no longer pretending to fight each other. Tom exchanged a glance with Lena, then pressed a button on his console, muting the transmission. "They're stalling," he said quietly, buying time to coordinate their attack. Lena nodded. "Our demonstration didn't scare them enough." "Then we need to show them more," Tom said, his face grim. He reopened the channel to the alien commanders. "You have 30 seconds to begin withdrawing from Earth orbit. After that, we will consider this an act of war." Morrow laughed, the sound like tinkling bells. "War? Your species has never fought beyond your own atmosphere. You have no fleet, no orbital defenses that we haven't already mapped." "Are you certain about that?" Tom asked. He nodded to a communications officer who sent a coded signal. On the screens showing Earth orbit, 6 patches of empty space suddenly shimmered and changed. Where there had been nothing, massive space stations now appeared, their advanced cloaking systems deactivated. Both alien commanders fell silent, their confidence visibly shaken. Project Mirage, Tom explained. We've had orbital defense platforms in place for years. Your sensors never detected them because, frankly, your technology isn't as advanced as you think it is. Impossible, Drav growled. We would have detected power sources of that size. Not if they use technology you don't understand, Lena said. Earth may be a gentle planet, but that doesn't mean we're gentle people. In his hidden command center, General Wilson watched as the alien forces hesitated. He turned to his communications officer. Status of Project Thunderbird? All units ready, sir. Waiting for your command. Wilson nodded. On my mark. Back in the observation bunker, Tom received a message from Global Command. He read it quickly, then looked up at the alien commanders still visible on the screen. Your time is up, he said. You should have taken our offer to leave peacefully. Before either alien could respond, Tom cut the transmission. He turned to Lena. Project Thunderbird is launching. Get everyone to secure positions. Throughout the Australian outback, the ground began to crack open. What appeared to be natural formations, rocky outcroppings, dry riverbeds, even small hills, split apart. From these hidden bunkers, sleek vessels rose into the air. Unlike the bulky rock ships or the elegant Voro craft, these human vessels were built for one purpose: defense. In orbit, the newly revealed space stations powered up weapon systems that had been hidden for decades. On screens around the world, military commanders watched as Earth revealed its true strength. The alien ground forces began to retreat toward their ships, suddenly unsure of the situation. What they had thought would be an easy conquest was turning into something very different. In the RAC command ship, Admiral Drav watched with growing concern as human defensive systems activated across the planet. His second-in-command approached cautiously. Admiral, our scouts report similar defensive activations on all continents. The humans have been building in secret for years. Drav's yellow eyes narrowed. How did they hide this from us? Their technology should be primitive compared to ours. It appears we severely underestimated them, sir. The Voros are signaling. They suggest a temporary retreat to regroup. Drav growled in frustration. To retreat is to admit weakness. But to stay... He looked at the screens, showing more and more human vessels rising into the air. To stay may be suicide. In the Voro command ship, Moro was having a similar conversation. How did they deceive our sensors? He demanded of his science officer. Unknown, Commander. Their technology appears to use principles we haven't encountered before. It's not more advanced than ours exactly. Just different. Moro's large eyes blinked rapidly as he processed this information. Different because they evolved on a different type of world. We assumed their gentle planet made them weak, but perhaps it just made them creative. The racks are signaling for a coordinated retreat, his communications officer reported. Moro stared at the screens showing human forces gathering. Tell them we agree. We need time to analyze this new information. Tom watched as both alien fleets began to pull back. Their ground forces were boarding their transports, retreating from the battlefield they had tried to expand. They're running, Lena said with a hint of surprise. For now, Tom cautioned. They're regrouping, not surrendering. This isn't over. A call came through from General Wilson. Reed, good work. The immediate threat is contained. Both fleets appear to be withdrawing to lunar orbit. They'll be back, Tom said, once they analyze our capabilities and find weaknesses. Let them try, Wilson replied. Project Phoenix is already being activated. By the time they return, they'll find Earth has changed once again. Tom ended the call and looked out at the desert battlefield. The alien ships were lifting off, leaving behind scorched earth and glassed sand. The damage was extensive, but confined to the designated zone. What, now? Lena asked, coming to stand beside him. Now we prepare, Tom said. The galaxy believed Earth was valuable only as a stable battlefield. Today they learned we're much more than that. And tomorrow, Tom smiled grimly. Tomorrow we show them what humans from a gentle planet can really do when pushed too far. Above them, the alien ships disappeared into the clouds, retreating to space. But the battle for Earth had only just begun. 3 days had passed since the alien retreat. The skies above Earth were tense with activity, as both the Rak and Voro fleets maintained positions near the moon. They had not attacked again, but they had not left either. In the Global Defense, headquarters beneath Geneva, Tom stood before the United Earth Council. The room was filled with leaders from every continent, their faces serious as they reviewed the events in Australia. The aliens remain in lunar orbit, Tom reported. Our intelligence suggests they're analyzing our defense capabilities and preparing for a coordinated assault. The council president, a tall woman named Helena Rivera, leaned forward. And our readiness for such an assault? Project Phoenix is now at 80% deployment, Tom replied. If they attack within the next 12 hours, we can hold them. Beyond that, our chances improve by the hour. What do they want? Asked another council member. Just a training ground, or is there more? Tom gestured to Lena, who stepped forward with a data tablet. Commander Stone has been analyzing communications we've intercepted between the two fleets. Lena activated a holographic display showing translation algorithms working on alien language patterns. They want Earth, but not just as a training ground. They see our planet as the perfect foundation for what they call a galactic nexus, essentially a central hub for multiple species. Our location in the galaxy is ideal, Tom added, and our stable environment makes it cheap to build here compared to their harsh homeworlds. They've been planning this for years, using the battle agreements to scout our defenses while appearing to follow Galactic Council rules. The room fell silent as the implications sank in. Finally, President Rivera spoke again. The Galactic Council representatives arrive tomorrow. What do we tell them? Tom's expression hardened. The truth, that 2 of their most powerful members conspired to steal a sovereign world, and that Earth is prepared to defend itself by any means necessary. In orbit around the moon, the massive Rak flagship held a tense meeting. Admiral Drav faced a holographic projection of Moro, their former pretense of enmity, now fully abandoned. Their defenses are formidable, Drav admitted, his voice rumbling with frustration. More advanced than we anticipated. But not insurmountable, Moro countered. Our combined fleets still outgun them. The question is what they're hiding that we haven't seen yet. The Galactic Council representatives will reach Earth tomorrow, Drav said. Once they arrive, direct action becomes more complicated. Moro's thin lips curved into a smile. Then we must act before they arrive. A swift, overwhelming strike that leaves the Council no choice but to accept the new reality. Agreed, Drav nodded, his yellow eyes glinting. We attack at dawn, Earth time. All forces, maximum deployment. As the hologram of Moro faded, Drav turned to his weapons officer. Prepare the world breaker. If we cannot have Earth, no one will. Dawn was breaking over the Pacific Ocean when Earth's orbital sensors detected movement from the alien fleets. In the Australian command center, Tom and Lena were awakened by urgent alarms. They rushed to the control room where screens showed both alien fleets advancing toward Earth in perfect formation. They're coming in fast, Lena reported, studying the tactical displays. All ships powered for combat. Tom activated the global communication system. This is Reed. Invasion confirmed. All Phoenix units to battle stations. This is not a drill. Across the planet, hidden installations hummed with power as Earth's final defenses came online. In orbit, the cloaked defense platforms revealed in the previous confrontation now shifted position, forming a protective net around the planet. Time to intercept? Tom asked. 17 minutes, a technician replied. Wait, we're detecting an energy buildup in the Rak flagship. It's massive, sir. Lena moved to a sensor console, her face paling as she read the data. They're powering a planet-killer weapon, something they call the World Breaker. Tom's jaw tightened. So they'd rather destroy Earth than let us keep it. He turned to the communications officer. Signal General Wilson, it's time for Phoenix Prime. In orbit, the approaching alien fleet suddenly detected new energy signatures appearing around Earth. Where there had been empty space, massive structures began to phase into view. Not space stations this time, but warships. Earth's hidden fleet, built in secret over decades, finally revealed itself. Unlike the alien vessels with their intimidating designs meant to inspire fear, the human ships were sleek and practical. What they lacked in size, they made up for in numbers. Hundreds of vessels moved into defensive positions, their weapons trained on the incoming threat. On the rock flagship, Admiral Drav stared in disbelief at the sensor readings. Impossible. They cannot have built such a fleet without our knowledge. His tactical officer was equally stunned. The ships are using some form of phase technology we've never encountered. They existed between dimensions until now. The world breaker? Drav demanded. Still charging, Admiral. 4 minutes to firing capacity. Drav made a decision. All ships, maximum speed. Break through their lines. The world breaker must have a clear shot at the planet. In the Geneva headquarters, President Rivera received the report from Tom. They're coming in hard and fast, Tom's voice came through. And they've got a planet-killer weapon. Rivera's face remained calm despite the news. Is Phoenix Prime ready? Yes, Madam President. Awaiting your authorization. Rivera looked around the council chamber. Every face nodded in silent agreement. She turned back to the communication screen. Authorization granted. May the stars witness that we tried peace first. As the alien fleets accelerated toward Earth, the human ships held their positions. When the Rax and Voros came within firing range, they launched their first salvos, energy beams and plasma torpedoes streaking through space toward the defenders, but the attacks never reached their targets. Halfway between the fleets, the fabric of space itself seemed to ripple and fold. The alien weapons disappeared into what appeared to be small, contained singularities that winked into existence and then closed just as quickly. What is happening? Morrow demanded from his command ship. His science officer worked frantically at her console. They've weaponized space-time. Somehow they're creating micro-singularities that intercept our attacks. On the screens, the human fleet began to advance, their own weapons now firing. But unlike the alien weapons, these passed through space unaffected, striking Rak and Voro, ships with unerring accuracy. Phoenix Prime, Tom explained to Lena as they watched from Earth. The one advantage of evolving on a gentle planet, we had to become more creative with our science. We don't just use energy as a weapon, we use the fabric of reality itself. The alien fleets began to scatter as more and more of their ships took damage. The carefully coordinated assault was falling apart in the face of technology they had never imagined possible. On the Rak flagship, Admiral Drav made his final play. The world breaker is charged, fire now. The massive weapon at the heart of Io, his ship glowed with terrible power, then released a beam of energy so concentrated it appeared solid. It streaked toward Earth, a weapon designed to crack a planet's crust. But as the beam approached Earth's atmosphere, it met the final layer of human defense. Every Phoenix ship turned its weapons toward the beam, not firing at it but around it. Space twisted and warped as hundreds of micro-singularities formed around the world breaker's attack, bending its path. The beam curved away from Earth, redirected back toward the alien fleets. It struck the moon instead, carving a new crater into its surface but causing no devastation to the planet it had targeted. In the silence that followed, Tom opened a channel to both alien commanders. This is Earth defense. Your attack has failed. Your planet killer has failed. You have one chance to surrender before we show you what our weapons can really do. On the screens, the alien fleets had stopped advancing. Several ships were already retreating, their captains making individual decisions as the coordinated attack collapsed. Admiral Drav's face appeared on the communication screen, his expression one of grudging respect. It seems we have much to learn about planets that aren't death worlds, human. Perhaps gentle worlds create the most dangerous warriors after all. Not warriors, Tom corrected him. Survivors. We protect what's ours. As the alien fleets began, Their retreat, a new ship appeared at the edge of the solar system. The Galactic Council representatives had arrived just in time to witness humanity's stand. Earth was no death world. But today, the galaxy learned that this made humans more dangerous, not less. In the gentle cradle of their temperate world, they had developed science that worked with the fabric of reality instead of just harnessing energy. The Earth would remain free, and the next time alien ships arrived in orbit, they would come in peace or not at all.